Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Andy Cohen kicks off the Our reunion with a damning question for Lisa Hochstein. Host Andy Cohen wasted no time calling out Lisa Hochstein about this controversial topic from Rome Season 7. Host Andy Cohen kicked off the Real Housewives of Miami Season 7 reunion by asking Lisa Hochstein a question that was, no doubt, already on some of her castmates' minds. "Lisa, we're going to cover a lot of different topics over the next few hours," he pointed out. "Any plans to take notes?" Lisa's response. "I always take notes." Equimi. Lisa's habit of filling her iPhone's Notes app with documentation of exactly what was said during various arguments became a hot-button issue as she navigated friendship drama, particularly with Larsa Pippen, on Season 7. She also defended the practice in an exclusive interview with The Daily Dish. "It's not like I take notes on everybody," Lisa claimed, "but it's normal to document or take notes, so you can remember." As Lisa previously explained during Our Season 7, she had begun her very smart practice of note-taking on the advice of an attorney amid her contentious divorce from Lenny Hochstein. She didn't need to check her records when Andy asked how co-parenting their two children, Logan and Elle, was going after they finalized their divorce in November 2024. Though, as of today, it's not going well, she admitted. "It's a struggle. Co-parenting, it's like a high-conflict situation." Despite dropping some not-so-subtle engagement hints to boyfriend Jody Glidden on Rome, Lisa's post-finale update revealed that his marriage proposal is still in development. After a brief fake-out on the Season 7 reunion, Lisa revealed that though she and Jody have had many talks on the subject, but are still not engaged today, as was also mentioned on the Rome Season 7 finale, Lisa and Jody developed an app called Splitwell, which offers AI-powered legal insights, support, and daily guidance for those navigating their own divorces. As Andy mentioned at the reunion, she recently rang the opening bell at NASDAQ, too. "That was a pinch-me moment," Lisa gushed. "It was part of my bucket list." As for whether or not she's taken Jody's advice about controlling the chaos in her life, Lisa insisted that she's made great strides since filming Wrapped. "I have a therapist, and it's been very helpful for me," she shared. "And actually, it's very helpful with my time management. You know, this show really opened my eyes. I don't want anyone to be waiting on me." The WWHL host was quick to point out, however, that it took many years for Lisa to have this realization about her tardiness, which she even referenced in her Season 7 tagline. "You know what? I do have a problem," Lisa confessed. "I don't calculate my time properly, so I'm working on it, and I take full accountability for that." It's all part of her journey toward growth, she said. "Me, compared to 3 years ago, is night and day," Lisa concluded, before referencing the embarrassment of her divorce. "That changed me and shook me to my core because I couldn't cope with these things. And I learned to cope. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I'm more calm. I'm more centered. I don't lash out like I used to." As you await parts 2 and 3 of the reunion, get even more updates on what else Lisa and her Our castmates have been up to after Season 7 wrapped. The set lights were barely warm. The glam squads had just retreated backstage, and the Housewives of Miami hadn't even found their breathing rhythm beneath the sequins when Andy Cohen launched the grenade. With his signature half-smirk and a stack of blue cards thick enough to be weaponized, he shifted forward in his chair, looked directly at Lisa Hochstein, and hit her with a question that made the entire stage stiffen. "Lisa, do you think you've been completely honest with us this season or just selective?" It was less a question, more an accusation wrapped in good manners. The silence that followed had teeth. Lisa blinked, the flash of panic in her eyes caught only by the 3 cameras angled toward her. Her posture didn't break, though. She sat perched in a glittering silver gown that caught the light almost as aggressively as the tension in the room. Her nails curled into her lap just long enough for the castmates to notice. Alexia, seated 2 chairs away but eager to spiritually scoot closer to the drama, cocked her head with that knowing, slightly judgmental smirk that could slice through glass. Gertie let out a barely audible "oof," and Dr. Nicole, never one to rush before observing, raised her eyebrows with journalistic intrigue. Andy didn't blink. He didn't need to. He just opened the reunion like a courtroom trial. "The first fracture selective?" Lisa finally repeated, injecting a light laugh into the word like a dash of Botox meant to smooth wrinkles. Andy, I've shared more of my life this season than I ever planned. I don't think selective is fair. Larsa, barely containing her relish, shifted in her seat like someone inching to the edge of a pool, ready to dive in. I mean, you shared what made you look good, she said with sugary venom. Let's not pretend. Lisa turned, slow and deliberate, a queen pivoting to address a court jester who'd forgotten her place. Are you seriously going to talk about honesty right now? Andy lifted a hand, not to stop the bickering, but to steer it. Lisa, he said, flipping through his cards. A lot of the viewers have wondered if you were being transparent about your situation with Jody, with the finances, and with what you allegedly knew about Lenny's involvement with Katharina before the divorce was finalized. The word allegedly was generous. Involvement was not. Immediately, electricity crackled across the couch. Cameras. Chaos. And calculated composure. Lisa's lips parted. But before she spoke, Julia reached over and touched her arm. A small, silent show of support. It was calm, but it also drew attention to the simmering storm. I was dealing with a real-life nightmare, Lisa said carefully. My entire marriage imploded in the most public, humiliating way possible. If I chose to protect some parts of that, for my kids or my sanity, that's not selective, that's survival. Marisol let out a that could have meant anything from solidarity to skepticism. Only she knew for sure. Andy, however, wasn't satisfied. Survival is understandable, he said, but several of your castmates felt blindsided. They say you expected loyalty while withholding details. Do you think that's accurate? He didn't look at the cast when he said it. He looked at her. And that was the brilliance of it. He made the words their words, not his. Lisa inhaled, the kind of breath that precedes either confession or carnage. People love to say I hide things, she said, looking at Larsa now. But at least I'm not out here spreading rumors about everyone else's life just to distract from my own. Boom. Larsa smirked like she'd been waiting for that opening. Sweetie, if you think I'm the distraction, maybe your story isn't as airtight as you want it to be. Andy's eyes gleamed. He didn't need to stir the pot. The pot had burst into flames on its own. Gertie's glance and Nicole's receipts. Gertie leaned forward, finally speaking with the quiet power of someone who'd been waiting to strike the balance. At times, Lisa, we wanted to help you, she said softly. But it felt like you'd only let us in when you wanted an audience, not when you needed accountability. Lisa blinked again, that momentary flash of offense pouring through her expression. That's not true. Nicole, eloquent but never gentle when she smells deflection, chimed in. It's okay to want privacy, but when you're living parts of your life on camera and other parts off the record, it can feel like a double standard. Lisa nodded slowly, as if weighing the words. But Andy saw the crack. He always did. And what about the timeline with Jody? Andy pressed. There are questions about when things really started. Larsa didn't even try to hide her grin. I was alone for a long time before anyone knew, Lisa said, her voice low now, rich with the kind of bitterness earned through legal fees and broken vows. So the timeline is no one's business but mine. That's what you said about the prenup, too, Alexia muttered under her breath, loud enough to ensure no microphone missed it. Andy glanced at her, amused but ready to leverage it later. The flashback set up. The control room rolled footage on the nearby screen. Clips from earlier episodes showing Lisa skirting questions, dodging digs, and sidestepping details with a smile that now fell a little flat under the reunion lights. As the montage faded, Andy struck again. Lisa, do you think your friends deserved more honesty? Or were you more concerned with how you'd be portrayed? It was the damning follow-up to the opening attack, and he knew it. Lisa's jaw tightened just enough to register. I was concerned with surviving a husband who blindsided me with a girlfriend and legal threats while filming a national show. If that makes me guarded, then so be it. The room held still. No one dared breathe too deeply. The energy shifts. Marisol took a sip of her drink, the one production pretends is water, and whispered something to Alexia that made the corners of both their lips twitch. Andy clocked it but didn't pivot away from his target. Do you regret not sharing more in real time? He asked, calm and incisive, Lisa paused. The pause was the answer before the words ever came. I regret trusting people who pretend they care more about the truth than the storyline, she said. That one landed. Hard. Several heads turned. Andy's smile returned, not as friend, but as referee and ratings conductor.